Hey, what's going on, guys? So here's a video that's a little abnormal, but not really. You know, usually on the channel, if you've been watching for a while, I like to unbox stuff. I usually buy collector's editions, and when I'm reviewing a game, I usually have the collector's edition and unbox that and review it. But this is kind of a dream come true for me. It's nothing big, like it's not like anything crazy, but if you've watched my channel, I'm a huge NeoGeo guy. I love the NeoGeo Pocket Color. I have a NeoGeo MVS in my house. I just love the NeoGeo. I love SNK. I love all that stuff. The NeoGeo Pocket Color is one of my favorite handhelds. I have this one that I did a backlit screen on for myself, custom painted. I love it. So last year, when the NeoGeo Pocket Volume 1 collection came out, I obviously couldn't wait. I bought the limited run games version and I bought the Pix and Love version. Unboxed them both on the channel. You should check those out and reviewed them. So they announced the NeoGeo Pocket Collection number 2, and as normal, I've pre-ordered the limited run version. I was going to wait for it to come in and then make a video about it. Well, actually, I had someone reach out to me saying, hey, we saw your video on Volume 1. Would you like a code for Volume 2 to review the game? And I was like, absolutely. Like, I'm being asked by one of my favorite video game companies to review a video game that I'm more than likely gonna love. Like, amazing. So, without further ado, story aside, I actually, you know, obviously I have nothing to unbox, but I will in the future, so stick around for that. But I have here the NeoGeo Pocket Volume 2 collection. The game's already out. I have not really got to jump in it too much, but I have the 10 games here, and I want to go through all 10 and kind of just show you what it comes with and how they play. I do know that the first collection was like all bangers, right? I mean, like all the good fighting games, that cool Demon Busters game, like some really cool stuff. So I know with this collection, it's kind of like gonna be stuff that maybe we didn't get here in America, or you know, some of the offshoot stuff. So I'm not expecting it to really blow me away like the first one, because the first one, I mean, they went all out with the great games. And if you know anything about the NeoGeo Pocket, you know that the library is quite small, so you can really only get so much. But here are 10 games that you cannot really play any way else, and some of these are very pricey and very worth your time. So without further ado, let's check these 10 games out and kind of show you some gameplay, and I'll let you decide if you think this is a collection that you need to have on your Switch. So if you watched my last review, you'll know that a lot of the features between Volume 1 and Volume 2 are the same. That being said, like mainly you can open up the case itself, see the clamshell case, open it up and see the game inside of the plastic holder. Open that up and see the cartridge itself and flip it around, which is pretty cool. They have the manuals, and you can flip through the manuals and read them up, how to see how to play. You can check them out on the main screen or in the screen in the middle of the actual game itself, if you need kind of a refresher while you're playing. A really cool thing, though, is some of these games are Japan only, and they have translated the manuals, so you can actually know what the heck you're doing, or at least navigate yourself through, because it will be a little challenging to play some of these games without it being in English. When you're in the game itself, of course, you can go through and have the rewind feature, which is great. You can only rewind a little bit, but you know, I'm sure if you're going to rewind, you're probably doing it immediately. Like I said, they have the manual in there, and also they have the different, just like the first one, the different kind of Neo Geos. In fact, every single Neo Geo Pocket Color you could have bought, you could use that as a border or have no border. You can also put on the kind of pixelated scan lines or not. So really cool features, but you know, hey, let's go ahead and just jump into these games. So the first game on here is Baseball Stars, and I'm not gonna lie, I was absolutely horrible at this game. I tried my best, right? I will say I want to show both sides here. So the game itself is pretty simple. You mainly play the pitcher on the not batting side, and then when the opponent hits the ball, then you run around with the other characters, grab it and throw it. You know, it's baseball. I will say that it took me, I think I lost like 13 points before I finally got to bat, and batting is much easier. But either way, this game's a little bit of a challenge. I mean, think back, I mean, this is 8-bit essentially, but think back to like the NES era, and that's kind of what you're getting. not remarkable. I'm also not a sports game guy. There are some sports games I really like. In fact, you'll see one later on in this video. But on the whole, I'm not like the biggest guy to be pointed at for these kind of games. But you know, if you are, it's on there, and you know, they really, just like anything SNK, they really go above and beyond with the limitations. Some of these animations are pretty cool, but you know, this one is to me just an okay one. Now the next game on here is this wrestling game, and I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I really do prefer the fighting games that SNK has. Usually the 2D fighters, but this game was pretty dang cool. The characters, of course, all look really neat. But you know, the NeoGeo Pocket Color is a 2-button device, so essentially you have grab and you have punch, and you know, you can kind of do a little bit more by utilizing the D-pad or the joystick in this case to kind of, you know, fill out some more moves for these characters. Once again, a pretty simple game. All these games are pretty simple. I mean, you know, they are handheld, like early generation handheld games, but this one really stands out to me. The animations for what they have are great. It's really cool. So far, you know, if I was to just compare the first 2 games I've played, this one is like leagues above the baseball one. But hey, let me know what you think. This game is pretty dang fun. So this next game is really kind of cool to be on this list. I was surprised this wasn't in Volume 1, because this is a pretty good game. This is a full-on RPG called Motor Unitron. This actually did come out in the US. It is like really cool. You essentially think like Metabots meets Pokemon, because it's not like a Metabots like in the sense that like it's an action RPG. It's definitely turn-based, but it's Metabots in the sense that you like totally customize your robot. You know, arm weapons, leg type, core type, head, all sorts of stuff. Essentially, you pick what race you want to play as. You go through the town. The menuing system kind of reminds me of maybe Monster Rancher or something like that, because you don't really go around as far as like walking around town. It's all menu based. But then you go to the arena and fight, and it is really cool. I mean, your robots, you know, all of their animations are, you know, basically like slashes and punches, kind of like Pokemon, but your sprite is based on the weapons and stuff that you have equipped. You fight in tournaments to get money and level up and etc, etc. It's a cool RPG. It's a very overlooked RPG. Obviously, it was kind of relegated to just this system, but it is very cool, and I highly recommend playing this one. Okay, so this game was definitely a Japanese exclusive, Ganbare Neo Poke-kun. I don't know what you do in this game. I should probably read the manual a little better, but from just what I have slightly figured out, it's kind of like Tamagotchi in the sense like you don't actually play, you just kind of watch this guy, and every time I press a button, something crazy happens. Like some guy walks in and does all sorts of crazy stuff or whatever. I know every single time you press the A button, the ceiling light turns into an alarm and your guy runs and smashes into the wall. The other thing I know is every time that happens, it brings you to a different menu, and the more different things I have seen, the higher these little percentages go. The higher the percentages go, once they go to 100%, you unlock weird mini games like, you know, I don't know, this weird thing where you're flying an H around, or, you know, like Arkanoid. It's a very strange game, very interesting. It's probably funnier if you understand Japanese. On the whole, pretty odd duck. Probably skippable, but hey, it's on here, and you know, that's kind of neat in and of itself. So King of Fighters Battle Paradise is like Mario Party. In fact, it just is Mario Party. I will say that this is another Japanese game, and it is half and half as far as like, is it very playable in English? I say half and half because the first mini game I came across, very self-explanatory. Basically, it's like you versus the other player, and you know, targets pop out of these bushes, you blast them. Whoever blasts the most in the time limit wins. The other one I had, though, it seemed to be asking questions specific about the characters that were popping on screen. And because of that, I obviously didn't stand a chance because I don't read Japanese. So I don't know how many games depend on you knowing Japanese or not, but there are some. And on those, unless you're lucky, you're going to lose. So once again, I don't know if I can really recommend this one to play. It is cool. I mean, it's Mario Party, essentially, with SNK characters, but I mean, the fact that some of the games really rely on you being able to read Japanese kind of puts a real damper on it. Now, this is a game I am so glad is on here because it is very expensive. It is very expensive Trust me. It is just like a great game, though. If you've ever played the original Mega Man: The Power Fighters 1 and 2 are arcade games. These are kind of a handheld port. Granted, it's a little bit, obviously downgraded, right? Because it's a handheld port. But, this game is awesome. I mean, so much so that I literally bought a copy for myself, as I just showed. But it is really fun. And the fact that the manual is in English, now I can kind of like see exactly what I'm doing. Although I kind of knew what I was doing because it literally mirrors the arcade game. But essentially, you're going through, you beat a bad guy, get the power, use the power to beat, the bad guy with the weakness to the power, etc., etc. It's just fun. It's really cool. I like that you can play as Mega Man, Proto Man, and Bass in 1, and Mega Man, Proto Man, Bass, or Duo in 2. This is a game that I like. To me, it makes the whole purchase worth it. I mean, this game alone is worth multiple times over the cost of the whole collection. And if you're a Mega Man fan or a NeoGeo fan, I mean, this is a no-brainer. Okay, so then we got soccer, and I'm not gonna lie, this is another sports game that I was not good at. I do think that the screen being so small does not help it that much. They do make up for that with like having arrows kind of showing where you have people off screen, so kind of aim for the arrow if you're trying to pass to yourself. But in general, I don't know. I mean, once again, I'm not the biggest sports game guy, but this one is kind of egregious in the sense that you're stuck with such a small screen. But you have to, because I mean, like, if you made it bigger, the sprites would have to be smaller and it would look worse. I don't know, this is a pass for me, but if you're into soccer games and maybe you have nostalgia for this one, check it out, but it's definitely just a pass for me. Now, earlier when I said that there was a sports game I really did like on here, it is this one. It is tennis. I don't know, maybe I'm a huge Mario Tennis fan. I like tennis a lot, honestly, in real life. I really like this game, though. It plays really good. I mean, all these games play really good. I cannot emphasize how much just NeoGeo, SNK in general, like, they really knock it out of the park when it comes to their games and the game feel. And this is no different. This is a really great tennis game. I enjoyed the heck out of it. I mean, it's really fun. It's so cool how they can get away with so much with 2 buttons. But hey, you be the judge on this one. I highly recommend playing this one. If there's one sports game on this collection to play, definitely play tennis. So I have seen this game many times. I've never actually checked it out. It's called Puzzle Link. I guess there's an English version because I have seen it before. I didn't know what it was about, and when I saw it, when I started playing it, I thought it was kind of be like Bubble Bobble, which is like, an SNK game, or Bust a Move, which is like an SNK game. But it is not, and I really like it. I don't know how to explain it. It's cool. You kind of make these paths that connect the different colors, and when they're connected, they all blow away. And then you can kind of, each button on the face pad switch to a different color, so you can get rid of blue, get rid of red, in this case. You can also play against other people. I'm just doing endless right now, but I had a great time playing this game. This is a cool puzzle game, one that I will definitely go back and revisit, but yeah, I really recommend this one. This game is just really, overall fun. Now, this is another really cool game, and I'm half and half on games like these. They had a card battle game for Monster Rancher I really loved on the Game Boy Color, but this is the Capcom vs. SNK card battle game. It is really cool. The rules are very easy to grasp. I mean, in fact, I didn't even look at the rules. I just kind of jumped in just to try it. This is a game that I don't personally own. I've seen it here and there. It's usually not too expensive. But, I was never really sure. But now I got to play it, and wow, it's great. I mean, they have ability cards. They have, basically cards for different characters. It plays similar to, I never really got into Yu-Gi-Oh, but I know in Yu-Gi-Oh the whole thing is whittle down your enemy to fight their actual opponent's life points. That's how this works. You set down your characters, and once they have no way to defend or whatever, you go and kind of go straight for their life points. And it's cool because different character cards have different abilities where you can maybe stack them up and both attack at the same time, or all sorts of stuff. Overall, this one is really cool. I mean, like, this is another one that's really kind of worth the price of admission, which really kind of rounds out the whole collection. Out of the 10 games, personally, I mean, there's like more than half of them I would really say are worth a good play. A couple more maybe worth checking out, and a couple more that aren't that great. But I think on the whole, it's really cool. I really like the first collection for the fighting games, obviously, but this one did not let down at all. I mean, there's some really cool stuff in here, some really rare stuff in here, and just, you're gonna have a good time, for sure. So that's the NeoGeo Pocket Volume 2 collection. Like I said, you know, it's not like all the huge fighting games that the first one had, but it still has some really great stuff. Really, I think this is going to be the way to definitively preserve all these games, games that you just can't play anyway else. In fact, the only other way you would be able to play these on your TV is if you have the analog pocket and the adapter, which doesn't even come out till next year as of recording this. And then you have to have a copy of these games for the NeoGeo Pocket Color. So it's going to be very complicated to play these any other way. And the price is reasonable. Like I said, 10 games. They're all really great. The Volume 1 collection, really, really good for fighting games. Volume 2 kind of fills the holes on the other stuff, sports mostly. But hey, let me know what you guys think down below. And once again, thank you so much for this review code. You know, I was just gonna have to wait till the physical copy came in, but now I didn't have to. And like I said, just the idea of being asked to review a game from a company that I personally love is just a dream come true. But hey, that's just me. Let me know what you guys think down below. That's going to do it for us today, guys. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't, please do. That would be awesome. And hey, as always, my friends, take it easy.